So we've now unpacked the engine bars. These are for the NC750 and we will be fitting them on the bike. Assuming they're going to go on to the mountings for the engine and give a bit of protection for the sides of the bike. So first thing to do is to work out which goes on which side. Got a bracket there and that goes around that area. So once you place that up into that area, you can see that they will go onto the engine mount brackets. Thus, we've got a bolt down here and a bolt down here, and then that bracket to attach. So this will give us a bit of protection, hopefully, in case we get it dropped or an accident. So that one goes on this side. 17mm bolts. So we've got a 17mm socket. Behind this we've got spacer. So that spaces the frame out towards the engine or the block. I don't have the belly pan on at the moment, just for clearance issues. So once we take this out, there we go. It's quite a long bolt. Like I say, it's got that spacer that goes between the engine and the frame. So we've got this one to fit. So we've got a couple of bolts in this section here. Take them off. That should enable us to get back into the area. And then hopefully, here we go. So we'll now take out the rearmost bolt. So no spacing on this one, it's straight to the frame. So that section is going onto the back. Just in case I'm lining it up correctly. Bit difficult. Trying to keep everything in place at the same time is a bit difficult. There we go, that's going in. There we go. So that one rests on the centre section. I'm going to try and get the bottom one in first. So it needs to go through the crash bar and the frame. There we go. And then got the spacer to put back in. So once you've got the spacer back in, you should be able to feed that bolt in. There it goes. So what I've done on these bolts is I've put a bit of oil on the thread to make it slightly easier to thread in. And obviously it will hopefully stop it rusting. So we've got that one in. Got one going in. There we go. I'm not going to tighten this up fully yet until we get the T-clamp bracket. That on. So that's going to be a little bit of a task to get it round the block. Not much room really. There we go, that's in. We'll take them two in there. Not too difficult, it's just a little bit awkward. That's one in. And then the other one in at the top. Now on this kit they have brought us with a couple of Allen head bolts, so you can use the Allen head screwdrivers to get it fastened on. And once I've fastened that up and clamped that on, these two again, then we'll move on to the other side. So this should give us somewhere to maybe a bag or spotlight on the front, give us something that can make us to be seen. But it's not a difficult job, and obviously it's something you can do at home. So the problem we had with the alignment for the bottom bolt was the hole with the powder coating on the rails. The powder coating is a little bit thicker than expected, so I had to take it off again and re-drill the two holes so that the bolts would actually go through. We've now got the bottom one fastened, but we are having problems with the top one. The spacer just keeps dropping down, and no matter how much I try to align it, you need 3 fingers to hold everything together. So to get the top bolt in, I ended up using 2 fingers at this side to hold the spacer, and using the Allen key to line up the spacer to get the bolt back in. So now we've got the bolt in, it's just a case of tightening that one, the clamp and the bottom one, and that is secured onto the bike. And because this side's a little bit more difficult, I'm going to mount it slightly different, in that I'm going to put it into place, roughly aligned, and then I'm going to use the clamp and the Allen bolts that go through the clamp to hold it in position. This will make it easier to line up the bolts. There we go. That's going to go into there. So we're going to keep that slack so we can move it around. Then got the bottom one to go in. These are a good idea. These different sizes for different jobs. And you get the long reach at that end like a screwdriver. And if you've got to put a bit more pressure on, you've got the T section there. So we've now got that in place. As you can see, it's quite loose. We've now got to bring up the position of that spacer at the bottom to line that up, using again that, and then we're going to put the long bolt in again at the bottom. So that's going to go through, hopefully, into the hole. So we're just checking up the bolt. There will be a torque setting for this. We've got the top one in. Then we've just got the 2 Allen bolts to put in to clamp that up. That's just bringing it in a little bit. There we go. We do have a bit of wire at the back of here running down, so we need to make sure there's nothing is nipped to replace into that clip. Like I said earlier, that clip will move sideways to allow you to open it, and then it will move sideways again to allow you to close it. So that's again, we're just making sure there's no pipe caught, snagged, nipped or anything. And it should, once you get it around the clamp, snip in like that. So that's now back in position. We've got his rails on, his frames on, and we've got a bit more added protection. As you can see, the bike's moving around quite easily with that. So the last thing we're going to be doing is putting the belly pan back on, and then we decide what we're going to be doing next, and see if we can make any other improvements. So that's it for now, guys.